I'm Dr. Deborah Sword with my friend and co-host Tyson Bankert.
Hi everyone, my name is Tyson. I'm an artist and facilitator.
Hey Tyson, I hear from people having conflict over opinions they consider wrong or stupid. Are you hearing anything like that?
You betcha I am. This is how I do something or do it wrong. It's all I hear oftentimes, whether it's on social media or in person. Why would you do it this way? Because what I do is the right way. It comes back to this idea. Even when I hear when people say this might be a stupid question, and then they ask that question. And to be fair, there are maybe some stupid questions, but I often think it comes from a place that when we share our opinions, um, that our positions need to be that we need to feel validated in those positions and in those opinions. Are we say, I might ask a stupid question because you don't want to feel small, right? Or you think you are, or maybe you're the only person who thinks you're the only voice that matters. There's so many things that I think oftentimes this idea that you ask about when people feel like there's so much of conflicts that are really started with you're wrong or you're stupid.
And some of that I suggest comes from what we don't know. We don't know.
Mm, right.
Unconscious unknowing. I, and this isn't a new phenomenon by any means. I know that if I'm walking in the forest with my cousin, who's a world-renowned biologist, he sees things that I'm not even aware exist. And it's a pleasure having my eyes opened to things
Mm,
that otherwise I would be blind to. I remember years ago, and it's very many years ago, a well-respected conflict manager explained how he handled a problem. He's a white man, over 6 feet tall, fit and imposing, and the women in the group said they wouldn't feel safe doing what he advised. He was shocked. He had never thought of that. His feelings of safety were very different than a woman's. Now, to be fair, this was long ago. Today, not only would he not give that advice, but he would not be surprised that others have a different context than his. So we've moved on. There's awareness today that what works for some won't work for others. But there's this larger factor that we're talking about. What do we react to that we consider stupid or wrong that is just something we don't think about? That
mm.
we consider that opinion stupid or wrong, but they have an experience different than ours. And we're judging their experience, whereas really it's just an experience we've never had that we haven't thought about. Same as I don't always think about the forest I'm walking through. I certainly don't think about it the same way my cousin does. We are unconsciously unaware of an entire experience. And because we don't have it, we judge it stupid or wrong.
Yeah, I think when it comes to understanding others' opinions and experiences, we still have so much work to do. And that awareness that you speak of is understanding that, yeah, my cousin who understands the land and the world and differently, but also provides lots of value. And I think if we kind of start to exist in this world where we just are ignorant of others people's experiences, just because you identify or in your experience and your location is different doesn't mean that you can't understand someone. And I think we should, in context, I think we might begin to start to edit our usual behavior to be more socially appropriate, to actually understand how you might show up differently.
Yeah, it's important that we consider the context. So let's take the example of a special occasion where two otherwise loving family members get into a fight over something. When someone confronts you for your opinion, a common reaction is to double down or reassert why your opinion is correct. And it may be correct, or it may not be. And once voices rise, those that inability to see the other person's perspective also rises.
Hmm. I think about something I've done with folks is empathy mapping, where we map out different experiences of how people might be feeling. And I think about layering that idea of conflict can really help us challenge our assumptions that you're correct isn't doesn't always make us feel super comfortable, but it's a good place to practice our conflict competence with some empathy.
That reminds me of a meeting I facilitated. A participant who worked for a resource extraction company denied climate change and was challenged by a government employee from the far north whose experience is with melting ice and diminishing sea life. The company employee wasn't stupid or malicious or deliberately unknowing. His lived experience was as an urban dweller in the South, dependent on his job extracting resources. Her lived experience was dwelling in a village above the 60th parallel, also dependent on her job. They had to inform each other where they were unseeing.
Hmm. Yeah, there are so many very serious issues in the 21st century with lots of potential for conflict embedded in these problems that continue to persist. And being unempathetic and adding denial into the conflict while reducing the knowledge available for solutions to emerge really create even further impact. And if you hear yourself denying or questioning someone else's state of reality and knowledge and experience, because it's so different from your own, I think it's time to start to conduct how you assess your empathy.
Here's a question to help you analyze if you are in need of empathy mapping. What might I not understand about this person's opinion because I have different experiences than they do?
Mm. That question changes the conversation, I think, from early conflict to engaging with curiosity. You aren't saying who's right or wrong, but are asking where the differences come from, which leads to mutual understanding. I think that's how we can really become more conflict competent. We post episodes every week, so please join us again and tell your friends that we discuss how to do conflict better to be conflict competent.
Thanks for listening to the Conflict Owners Manual. We hope you'll leave a comment and subscribe to our podcast.